Listen to me, because this might be the last time someone tells you the truth. There comes a moment when you look in the mirror and realize you've been lying to yourself. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're unprepared. Life doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards consistency, not excuses. Every single day you wake up is a chance to get ahead, but instead you scroll, complain, and waste potential that some people would kill to have. You've got a brain, a body, breath in your lungs, and you treat them like liabilities instead of assets. You want success? Then earn it. Every morning, get up with fire. Work on your mind, read, learn, sharpen your thoughts like blades. Work on your body, sweat, train, make yourself stronger than your excuses, and work on your spirit. Because without purpose, you're just floating. Improve daily or die slowly. That's the truth. You don't get to be weak in a world that's this brutal. You either rise or you rust. Now decide. Right here, right now. There's a dangerous myth that has poisoned the minds of millions, the belief that motivation is what drives success, that somehow you need to feel like it in order to act, that you have to be inspired, excited, and emotionally ready before you hit the gym, start that business, study, or grind. Let me tell you the truth, the raw, ugly, liberating truth. Motivation is a lie. It comes and goes like the wind, and if you're relying on it, you're already behind. The people who win, the people you admire, the ones living the lives others only dream about, they didn't wait until they were motivated. They acted in spite of how they felt. They got up when they were tired. They pushed forward when every part of them screamed to quit. Why? Because they understood something most people never will. Discipline is everything. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to do it. It's showing up when your mind is full of doubt. It's putting in the reps when no one is clapping for you. It's grinding in the dark so you can shine in the light. That's the code. That's the mindset. If you need to feel good to do something hard, you've already surrendered to weakness. The truth is, you won't always feel like it. Life will beat you down. Your emotions will betray you. The world will throw distractions at you every minute of every day. Your mind will find excuses dressed as logic, but discipline ignores all of it. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I made a promise to myself, and I'm going to keep it. You don't brush your teeth because you're motivated. You do it because it's necessary. That same level of necessity needs to be applied to your goals. Training, learning, building, creating, evolving. These aren't optional. They are daily requirements. And if you can treat them with the same non-negotiable mindset as brushing your teeth, everything changes. Your body transforms, your confidence skyrockets, your bank account grows, your relationships improve. Why? Because discipline compounds. Every act of self-control, every decision to follow through builds momentum. And that momentum becomes identity. You stop saying, I want to be this, and you start saying, this is who I am. Most people are trapped in cycles of starting and stopping. They chase quick highs, look for shortcuts, and give up when things get hard. They don't have a discipline problem. They have a commitment problem. They never made a real decision to change. But if you can decide, truly decide, that no matter what, you're going to show up, even if it's ugly, even if it's slow, even if no one notices, that's when you unlock power. Real power, not hype, not temporary excitement, but sustained, focused power that moves mountains. And look, there will be days you feel like quitting, days when your back hurts, your mind is tired, the results aren't showing, and the doubt is loud. And that's when discipline kicks in like a hammer. That's when you rise, not because it's easy, but because it's who you've trained yourself to be. You don't need music. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need someone cheering for you. All you need is that decision you made when no one was watching. I will not stop. There is no greatness without discipline. No victory. No transformation. You think the champions wanted to get up at 4 a.m.? You think the entrepreneurs wanted to eat rejection for breakfast every day? You think the fighters wanted to get back up after every loss? No. But they did it anyway. And that's why they're on top, because they obeyed their goals more than their feelings. So the next time you feel lazy, distracted, unmotivated, good. That's your moment. That's your test. That's the part where most people fail, and you decide you're not most people. You put your boots on, shut the noise off, and you do the work. And when you do that every single day with no excuses, no negotiations, and no escape routes, the world bends. Life shifts. And one day people will look at you and say, how did you do it? And you'll smile and say, I didn't wait to feel like it. I just did it. Most people think success is the result of one big break, a massive opportunity, a perfect moment, some stroke of luck that changes everything overnight. But that's not how life works. That's not how success is built. The truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful. It's the small, almost invisible daily habits that shape your future. The things you do when no one's watching. The choices you make when you think they don't matter. Those little actions, repeated over time, are what define who you become. Consistency is the real superpower, not talent, not intelligence, not money, consistency. When you wake up and make your bed, it's not about the blanket or the pillows. It's about telling your brain, I start my day with order and control. When you drink water first thing in the morning, instead of reaching for your phone, you're not just hydrating, you're making a statement. My health comes first. When you read 10 pages a day, that might not seem like much, but after 1 year, you've read over 3,000 pages. That's not a small thing. That's knowledge stacking, mindset rewiring, and new worlds unfolding in your mind. When you go to the gym 3 times a week, even if you're tired, even if it's only 45 minutes, even if it's not your best session, you're reinforcing discipline, mental toughness, and physical progress. All of it adds up. The problem is we live in a culture obsessed with instant results. We want to see the abs in 2 weeks. We want to double our income in 1 month. We want the relationship, the body, the money, the lifestyle fast. But life doesn't reward speed. It rewards consistency. You don't become successful because you worked hard once. You become successful because you showed up every day, especially when it was boring, especially when it felt like nothing was changing, especially when quitting would have been easier. That's when the compound effect kicks in. Think about it. A single drop of water is weak, but a drop hitting the same stone every day eventually carves through it. It's not about intensity. It's about persistence. You don't need to change your life in a day. You just need to commit to small, meaningful actions and do them relentlessly. That's the hard part, because those habits are so small, so subtle, that it's easy to dismiss them. It's easy to say, I'll skip today. It won't matter, but it does matter. Every skipped workout chips away at your discipline. Every day you choose comfort over progress. You teach your brain that quitting is acceptable. And that repetition, that pattern becomes who you are. The flip side is just as true. Every time you keep your word to yourself, even on a small thing, you build inner strength. You reinforce trust in yourself. That's something most people never develop, self-trust. They make promises and break them every day. They say they'll wake up early, eat clean, study, build something, and they don't follow through. And so their self-image weakens, their confidence crumbles. Why? Because they've proven to themselves that they can't be relied on. But when you start stacking small wins, getting up when the alarm rings, doing the workout, reading the page, making the call, you create evidence that you're serious. And that evidence becomes belief. You begin to say, I don't need motivation. I follow through because it's who I am. This is how empires are built, not with grand gestures, not with hype, but with consistent, small, daily moves that compound into unstoppable momentum. It's brushing your teeth every morning. It's writing 1 paragraph a day. It's saving a small amount of money each week. It's talking to 1 new person every day to build confidence. These things don't look like much on day 1, but on day 300, day 1000, you've reinvented yourself. The secret is to make your habits non-negotiable, not optional, not emotional. You don't skip brushing your teeth because you're tired. So don't skip your other habits either. Treat them with the same level of necessity. Attach identity to your consistency. Stop saying, I want to be disciplined, and start saying, I am disciplined. Stop chasing intensity and start chasing consistency. It's boring. It's unsexy. It's slow, but it works. And the person who understands this, who respects the quiet power of small daily actions, is the one who will eventually win. Not because they're better, but because they didn't stop. Your life is a direct reflection of what you choose to tolerate. Let that sink in. Everything you have right now, your health, your relationships, your income, your mindset, your level of happiness, it all mirrors the standards you've set for yourself and the excuses you've allowed to stand in your way. Every excuse you've made has cost you time, progress, and ultimately your potential. The moment you stop making excuses and raise your standards is the exact moment everything begins to shift. Excuses are nothing but lies wrapped in logic. They sound reasonable. They feel justified, and they let you off the hook without guilt. I'm too tired. I don't have time. It's not the right moment. Other people have it easier. These phrases are poison. They feel comforting, but they quietly kill your drive, your hunger, and your growth. And the worst part, you start to believe them. You convince yourself you're doing your best, when deep down you know you're not. You're operating below your capacity. You've settled. You've allowed mediocrity to take root, and it's infecting every area of your life. The truth is brutal but freeing. If you want more, you must demand more from yourself first. You have to raise your standards to the point where excuses are no longer acceptable, where skipping a workout feels like a betrayal, where sleeping in without purpose feels like a loss, where half effort is no longer good enough, not because someone else told you, but because you refuse to live that way anymore. You have to become allergic to your own nonsense. That voice in your head that justifies quitting, challenge it. That thought that says you've done enough, push past it. Raise your standards so high that laziness becomes foreign and average becomes uncomfortable. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no friend, no book, no podcast. None of it will work unless you make the decision to expect more from yourself. If your standard is to just get by, you'll always find a way to do the bare minimum. But when your standard is excellence, you find a way to rise, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's when you separate from the crowd. Those people are not held back by a lack of opportunity. They're held back by low expectations and high tolerance for failure. They allow repeated patterns of procrastination, self-pity, and comfort to dominate their days, and then they wonder why nothing changes. If you tolerate people who disrespect your time, you'll continue to feel unvalued. If you tolerate a lack of discipline in your daily routine, you'll continue to feel chaotic and unproductive. If you tolerate negative self-talk, you'll never build confidence. Your standards set the tone for everything. If you don't demand respect from yourself first, don't expect anyone else to give it to you. Raise the bar, not in words, but in action. If your current results don't match your vision, stop blaming the world and start adjusting your standards. What are you willing to no longer accept? What are you willing to no longer excuse? There's immense power in drawing that line in the sand and saying, this is the new me. From this point forward, I refuse to go backwards. That doesn't mean you won't stumble. That doesn't mean perfection. It means you no longer tolerate your own excuses. You no longer accept showing up at 70% and calling it effort. You start catching yourself the moment you slip and course correct. That's strength. That's leadership. That's growth. And understand this, when you raise your standards, people around you might get uncomfortable. Good, let them. You're not here to make others comfortable with your growth. You're here to evolve, and evolution requires disruption. It requires the death of the old version of you, the one who made excuses, delayed goals, and played small. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting to be great. You owe it to yourself to rise. So stop negotiating with your goals. Stop waiting for better timing. Stop lowering your standards to match your circumstances. Raise your standards and watch your circumstances rise to meet them. Eliminate the excuses and you'll find that everything you thought was impossible was simply buried beneath your tolerance for less. The life you want is on the other side of what you no longer accept. Cut the excuses, raise the standards, own your future. So here it is, your moment of truth. No more excuses, no more playing small, no more lowering your standards to fit into a life you've outgrown. Everything you want, strength, clarity, respect, success, is waiting on the other side of a simple decision to expect more from yourself and to tolerate nothing less than your absolute best. You don't rise by accident. You rise by choice. You rise by demanding discipline, chasing growth, and refusing to let temporary comfort rob you of long-term greatness. It's not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. Every time you choose progress over excuses, you build power. Every time you silence the voice that says not today, you prove you're serious. Raise the bar and don't ever lower it again. You deserve more, but only if you're willing to fight for it. Life doesn't hand out rewards for intentions. It rewards execution, consistency, and grit. So go, start today. Start with one habit, one decision, one step that honors the highest version of who you are. Make it non-negotiable. Burn the bridge back to who you used to be. The standard is now greatness. Anything less is done. From this moment on, it's rise or nothing.